is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live to your phones, your tablets, your big screen, small screen, however it is that you watch us, to our current students, our previous students, as well as our future students, to help you mastermind and grow your real estate business. And we've got a lot of people interested in starting a career in real estate, or maybe they just got their real estate license, and this episode is geared towards you. Or maybe you're trying to jumpstart your real estate business. Maybe you've been doing it a little bit part-time and you're trying to transition into full-time real estate, or maybe you got your license but you really haven't done much with it. That's what we're talking about today, your first 90 days in real estate, how you could go from just getting your real estate license to closing. We're going to shoot for 2 to 3 deals. And we're going to talk about how you need to do that, because it may seem impossible. There's a lot of people that are probably going to tell you it is impossible. They'll say there's no way you're going to be able to close 2 to 3 deals in your first 90 days. I say that's BS. I say you could do it. We're going to talk about how on today's episode of State of Real Estate. Stick with us. We've got a great show for you.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live, to our current students, our previous students, as well as our future students, to mastermind and grow your real estate business. And this episode is for everyone out there that's thinking about getting their real estate license, that just recently got their real estate license, or really that you're just trying to jumpstart your real estate business. You could have had your license for 10 years and maybe never done too much with it, and you're trying to hit the ground running. Maybe in 90 days closing 2 to 3 deals. That seems like something that's interesting you. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're really kind of focused in this episode just on the short term, getting money going now, because ultimately in the end, we want cash flow, we want automation, we want marketing, we want systems doing stuff for us. But that's not how you start out with really any business. Any business, you gotta put your nose to the ground and really grind it out in that first initial stages to really start get the deals a churning. And look, our goal, what we're trying to accomplish, is 2 to 3 deals. And why I'm saying 2 to 3, we're going to talk about this and dive into this, and whether how much time it is you're devoting to real estate, whether you're in this part-time, full-time, whatever that may be, because that's going to vary, and that's going to be, if you're a part-time agent, I'm not going to say it's impossible to close 3 deals in the 90 days, but you're going to have to be working like you're full-time in real estate, even if you do have another job or something else going on at the same time. So that is possible. But that's what we're talking about today. So let's start off first and foremost, and this is really a follow-up episode to the episode we did previously called Your First 30 Days in Real Estate. Your first 30 days in real estate, we really kind of just touched on the key things it is that you need, and those 3 things were headshot, business cards, and name tag. And if you don't like the name tag, embroidered shirt or something like that, but really name tag is the easiest, simplest solution to that. So you need those 3 items. Those are the 3 essentials that you want to get up front. Everything else is going to be a luxury. And what we're focusing on today is sticking with that bare bones mentality, because look, it is expensive to start any sort of business, including a real estate business. Now, starting a real estate business, you have a lot lower barrier of entry compared to most other businesses that you're starting. I mean, the course is only about $300, give or take, depending whether you're doing a classroom or online. Another $80 for the application, $50 for fingerprinting, about $40 for your state exam. And we're not talking a whole lot of money. Your broker might charge some money to get started up with them, maybe a couple $100 there, a couple $100, maybe close to $1,000 to get activated with the Association of Realtors and things like that. So these expenses will start to add up, and these other non-essential expenses are going to be more like luxuries. And that's why we're focusing on today the bare bones, the bare minimum, how you can get out there and close 2 to 3 deals in your first 90 days. Yes, brand new to real estate, 2 to 3 deals. And now what could that mean income-wise? How much dollar amount are we talking about there? Well, if we're just talking about $10,000 commissions that you get, which isn't an unrealistic commission, that's maybe a 3% on a $300,000 home. That's going to be around $10,000, give or take, depending on your splits and things like that. But 3 deals, $10,000, that's $30,000. $10,000 a month is what that averages out to in your first 3 months, your first 90 days in real estate. And if you could keep up at that same pace, just at that same pace of 1 deal a month, and you're closing 12 deals in a year with a $10,000 average commission that your gross commission you're getting, that's $120,000 in a year. You know, and this isn't, we're not talking about superstar level, rock star level, or anything like that. This is completely possible, completely doable. But let's focus on just the short-term success here. Last week's episode, we were talking about, planning for 2018, planning for the year. And that is important. It is important to know where you want to be at the end of the year. But let's focus on where we're going to be at the end of this month, the end of the next month, the end of 90 days. That's what's important now, this first quarter that we have. So by the end of March, really, where it is that you're going to be. You've had 3 months to close 3 deals. Now, it's not that we're going to be closing 1 deal a month. So let's break down the logistics of this, of how this typically works. Let's break down the simplest part. Okay, now that we have a contract, how long is it going to be until we could get to closing? Contract to closing, what's our timeline? What are we looking at contract to closing? Well, contract to closing, that's going to vary based on the transaction. If we're talking about a cash deal, it's not instantly. Even then, even with a cash deal, it's not instant. You might be looking at, 15 days. 15 days is probably on the shortest, maybe 10 days contract to close for a cash deal. But usually you're looking at least 15 days contract to closing. So that already eats away 15 days, our last 15 days. Now we're down from 90 days down to 75 days it is that we have. And that's for a cash deal. That's for a cash deal. You're probably not going to be working with cash buyers because most buyers are using financing. And with financing, it's not a 15-day contract to closing, going from having the contract to closing on the property, and closing is where we want to be because that's where we get paid. And our goal is to have 2 to 3 of these things under our belt by the time the end of those 90 days, 2 to 3 closings, or maybe, they carry over a little bit into April. But really, we want to have, by March comes around, we've got 3 closings, 30 grand, maybe even more than that, maybe 45 grand if you're dealing with higher end homes, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 20 grand if you're dealing with lower price homes. But that's a good start. That's a phenomenal start when you're first getting started, because a lot of agents will tell you, oh, your first 90 days, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to sell anything. You're not going to do anything. No, that's absolutely not how it should be. That's probably how they started in real estate. They probably went 6 months. They might have went a year without making any sort of money. But the key here to get these closings in the first 90 days is to know what you need to do. That's your biggest obstacle right now, is knowing the right things to do to get those closings within 90 days. So back to the logistics. Contract to closing, on a typical type of financing transaction, you're looking 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days in a typical financing transaction to go from contract to closing. And we'll budget for 60 days. And if you're dealing with a new home builder, the new home builders aren't going to close on a property until the property's completed. You might be looking at 6 months down the road. So new construction is great. It's going to be great 6 months from now when you do finally get paid, or 9 months from now, or however long it's taking to finish the construction on the property. But look, if you need money now, that's where you got to work on some resale homes. That doesn't mean cast that new construction client, somebody that's sold and really wants new construction. Don't just cast them aside. Yeah, work with them, get that deal in the works so you've got a deal coming up 6 months from now. But now you need to layer on top of that what you need to be doing right now to get closings, 2 to 3 closings, by the end of those 90 days. So for budgeting 60 days for contract to closing with the financing, 60 days it's going to take to go from the contract to the closing where we get paid, that 60 days out of our 90 days, that leaves us with 30 days. So what that means now is what we're looking at, and this is stuff you should be writing down. You should be keeping track of. This is how, on average, how long it takes, because this is something you'll learn with experience. But, experience, we talked about this before, learning by experience is learning through trauma. You get traumatized. That's why so many agents will say, oh, you're not going to make any money your first 90 days. You're not going to make any money your first 6 months. You're not going to make any money your first year. All they're telling you is, I didn't make any money my first 90 days. I didn't make any money my first 6 months. I didn't make any money my first year. And That's fine, but they don't need to project their trauma on you. That should not affect your start in real estate. You should be able to hit the ground running when you're properly informed and you know what it is to expect and what it is that you need to do. And the biggest misconception is how much action it takes to yield the results it is that you're looking for. If you're looking for 2 to 3 closings, and you might say, John, well, one closing, that would be enough for me, because if I get $10,000 across 3 months, that's way more money than I'm making right now. As we break down this process further, you're going to see that one closing just isn't enough. You can't just rely on one, because when you rely on one, and this is the biggest mistake I see new agents make, is they just rely on one. Rely on one and you're done. Don't rely on just one client. Don't rely on one transaction. Don't rely on one contract. Even if a deal is under contract, that contract could fall apart. It could fall through. So you cannot rely on just one flow, on one deal. Because if that deal doesn't go through, you're left making no money. And that's why I'm saying 2 to 3. At least 2 is what you should be focusing on, even if you're working in real estate part-time. Because what's the point of getting a real estate license? What's the point of practicing real estate if you're not making any money? If you're not closing transactions? If you're here to help people, that's phenomenal, but you get paid when you help people. So if you're not getting paid, you're not helping anybody. You're just wasting people's time showing them houses when they're not actually purchasing the house. You're wasting their time as well as your time. So you getting paid is the verification. That's how you prove that you helped somebody, that you assisted somebody, you helped them purchase the home. That's when you get paid your commission. We're going to talk more about what you need to do in your first 90 days to get rocking and rolling to close 2 to 3 transactions in your first 90 days. So stick with us. I'm John Carissimo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Carissimo with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have done for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. Exciting show for you guys today. It's how to close 2 to 3 deals in your first 90 days in real estate. And even if you haven't had your first 90 days yet, or maybe you've already had your first 90 days yet, this will apply to you. This is okay, next 90 days, how do I turn out 2 to 3 transactions? If that sounds appealing to you, this is the show for you to watch. If you're already doing more than 2 to 3 transactions every 90 days, you might still benefit from this here. But I take it you are looking to take your business to the next level, and a lot of these are applicable. And this really applies a lot to when you're a new agent. Because when you're a new agent, you think everything will just fall into place, or you have these assumptions about how the process goes, and you have good intentions. A buyer tells you that yes, they are serious about buying a home, only for you to find out 8 months later they weren't really serious about buying a home. A seller tells you, hey, look, I'm willing to negotiate on the price, but now when lower offers start coming in, they say, no, I want full price for the house. What people tell you isn't always accurate. And that goes on the other side of this as well, on the professional side of this. Because again, the myth I'm trying to bust right now is when agents and brokers and people that have been in real estate and whoever it is, your mother, your sister, your father, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother, your wife, your husband, whoever it is that's telling you, oh, you know, you're not going to make any money for this many days. You're not going to make any money for... Anytime somebody says you're not going to make any money, you got to stop right there. But whatever else it is that they're saying after that, you know isn't going to be true because you're getting in this business to make money. You are taking the classes, getting your license, passing the exam, doing all this stuff because you plan on making money. So by them saying you're not going to make any money is basically saying everything you're doing is a waste of time, which that's not true. You're going to make money. It's a question really of when it is that you're going to make money. Maybe it won't be for a year. But if you're taking the right actions and you have a thorough understanding of the amount of actions it takes to achieve what it is that you're trying to get, the 2 to 3 transactions or however many transactions it is, it's possible. But you have to have the appropriate amount of action. Like I said, 1 and you're done. Not 1 and you're done is a good thing. 1 and you're done. If you rely on 1 client, 1 deal, 1 transaction at any point in your career, you're done. You're basically not making any money. You can't rely on just 1 client. And you might say, well, John, I'm new to this. I don't want to work with too many clients because if I make a mistake, I don't want to be making mistakes for multiple people. You know, that's a valid concern because, and you understand that you're going into this not having the full knowledge it is that you need. But the quickest way to learn through experience is by multiplying that experience. Because if you've got a deal going on over here, and you've got another deal going on over here, those 2 deals are going to be teaching you different things about each other. You know, you're always going to learn through experience. It's just not the best way to learn. So by having multiple deals going on, yeah, there's going to be some speed bumps. Yeah, there'll be some road bumps. Maybe you're even the reason why the contract falls apart. Doesn't matter whether it's your fault or somebody else's fault. If you're just relying on 1 deal, 1 client, 1 transaction, 1 of anything, you're not getting paid. You're not serving your purpose of having a real estate license. You're not closing transactions and you're not making any money. And that's how a lot of people start in real estate, but the reason is because they rely on 1. Rely on 1 and you're done. Write that down. Make sure you've got that. Rely on 1 and you're done. You can't rely on just 1 of anything. Can't rely on just 1. So we've already kind of broken down the logistics of this here, that it's going to take probably 60 days. It might even take longer than that, but 60 days, that's a conservative estimate. We'll aim to close them quicker, but if we figure 60 days, that means we've got to get clients. We need enough clients to get contracts within the first 30 days. So now, how many clients do we need to have? Let's focus on 3. Let's say 3 closings. And now, this might be a little bit difficult if you are working in real estate part-time. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be tough to try to close 3 transactions in your first 90 days. It doesn't matter what the price is on this, whether they're $100,000 properties and you're only making $3,000, or they're $300,000 properties, you're making $9,000, or they're $500,000 properties and you're making $15,000 or $20,000 or whatever it is per transaction. It doesn't matter how much money it is that you're making. It takes about the same amount of time for each one of these transactions. So that's one of the things it is that you've got to wrap your head around first. If we close $300,000 homes, that's $9,000. We close three $300,000 homes, that's $27,000. It's a lot more money. There's a lot more you could do with $27,000 as opposed to $9,000, and it takes about the same amount of work going into that. So that's one thing to consider with this here. Now, let's talk about gaining the clients, because that's really the first step in this whole process to getting 3 closings. Whatever price point, whatever it may be, the first step is getting your clients. Getting leads, really. Getting leads that you could turn into clients. Qualifying these leads. Finding out. And so we have to find ways that we can get leads. And remember, we've got 30 days. We've got 30 days. Now, if we could find some hot leads, maybe we could close them in 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. Let's figure 3 weeks. That means we need to find the clients that we need to get these 3 closings in the first week. In the first week. And now when you're new or your business is going through a rapid transition period like this, You're not going to have reliable statistics and reliable data of how many clients will turn into how many leads, to turn into how many appointments, to how many contracts, to how many closings. You're not going to have reliable statistics. So you got to really just make best guesses, and it's best to be conservative with your estimations. So if we want to have 3 closings, at the end of 90 days, that means that we should probably get, if we want to be conservative with this, if we figure half of our contracts are going to fall through, which that's possible, being new in real estate. That's why so many people struggle with just one client, because the contract will fall through. Then you're back to square one. Back to square one, finding a new home, finding a new buyer, going through the process all over again, repeating yourself. You're going to have to do this. The best thing to do is try to cram that in all now as much as possible. So if we figure half of our contracts aren't going to close, we don't need just 3 contracts. We need 6 contracts. 6 contracts. And what's worst case scenario with this here? They all close. And instead of 3 closings, we had 6 closings. We're making $60,000 now in our first 3 months. Send your complaints into us. But they're probably not all going to close. Especially being new. You might get lucky and they might all close, but don't count on it. Figure for about half of them not closing. It'll happen. And if it doesn't, it's your lucky day. So we need 6 contracts. That's what we want to shoot for within that first 30 days, is we get 6 contracts. And that's a lot of contracts. You're going to be busy writing up 6 contracts. And what's going to happen when you set your goals high like this, you're going to end up falling short. You will end up falling short. If you hit these goals, it's your lucky day. You're going to be rolling in the money. You're going to be closing transactions like there's no tomorrow. But if you miss these goals, even just having 1 closing in your first 90 days, you're probably doing better than most people do in their first 90 days. But it takes a significant amount of action. As you get better, as you refine your craft, as you become a more skilled professional and better at what it is that you do, you'll have better ratios. You might have a reliable 100% closing rate of 100% of your contracts actually close. But that's when you become skilled at contract negotiation, skilled at writing out the contract, skilled at understanding the situation and knowing what the process looks like. Then you might get to that point where almost every single one of your contracts close. But when you're new, that's not going to be the case. Even all the training it is that you've done, the classes that you've taken, and everything it is that you've done, maybe you went above and beyond and took some boot camp or whatever it may be to learn this stuff here, there's still going to be stones left unturned. There's still going to be situations you come across that you don't account for. And unless you've been in real estate 10, 15, 20 years, even then you get surprised with things. So we're going to shoot for 6 contracts. Now, how do we get 6 contracts? Well, let's double it up again. We need 12 clients. You might even need more than 12 clients. Maybe let's shoot for 15 clients. 15 clients. 15 clients that we're showing homes or that we're marketing a property for sale. 15 clients. So now where do we find 15 clients in our first 30 days? You tell somebody now, if we weren't reverse engineering this whole process, if we tell somebody, hey, look, somebody's new to real estate and they say, hey, look, I want to close 3 transactions in my first 90 days, that probably sounds pretty doable. But then when we now start breaking down what it is that you have to do, if I just went and straight told you and say, hey, this month you need to find 15 clients. You need to be getting a new client that you're working with, that you're showing homes that you've got a contract with within this first month, 1 every other day, 15 of those. If I just come at you saying that, you might say, well, why do I need 15? I just want to start off with 1. I don't want to do too many things wrong. I don't really know what I'm doing yet. You've got to immerse yourself in this. The people talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. You got to dive head first into the Kool-Aid for this year. You got to immerse yourself into the deep end. And you'll eventually, you'll kick your way out and you'll get to some air. And eventually you'll start powering through this. And once you get that first contract closed, then it's another one, then it's another one, then it's another one. And it only gets easier because not only are you more confident and comfortable with the process, but you have a better understanding of what what pieces need to fall into place to make this happen. So you have a better understanding of that, and you're more likely to continue this ball and continue this motion rolling. But if you rely on one client, remember, 1 and you're done. one client, one transaction, one contract, anything like that, that's where your hair's going to start falling out. That's where you're going to not get any sleep. You're going to have the sleepless nights. Why? Because you're worried that that one transaction doesn't go through. If you've got 6 contracts and you're just shooting for 3 closings, one doesn't fall through. Like, okay, good thing I still got 5 more contracts. Another one falls through. Still got 4 contracts. I'm still going to be in good shape for getting my 3 closings. 3 of them fall through. Okay, half of mine didn't fall through. Hopefully the other half of these, we should still be good. And even if 4 of them fall through, if 2/3 of our deals fall through, we still got 2 closings, which, not at the end of the day, we're not stuck with no money. If you have one deal, one client, one of anything, and that one goes away, oh my God, what's happening? This is, no, and you're pulling your hair out, you're losing sleep, you don't know what to do, you can't think straight, you're getting emotional, but that's because you have one of anything, and you're done. One and you're done. Remember that. That's the most important tip I would give you as a new agent, because one and you're done. You can't rely on one client. It could be the situation, it could be them, it could be you. There's so many factors working against getting this transaction to go through. If you rely on just one, you're done. Now, I'm not saying that, okay, the deal falls through, just cast them aside and you're done with them. No. You're still working with them. You're still trying to make the deal work. But when you are not stressed about this one deal not going through, you're able to think more logically, more clearly. You're not getting emotional. You can handle it like the professional that you are. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about your first 90 days and how to really maximize your business, get 2 to 3 closings in your first 90 days. Stick with us. I'm John Christmer. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christman with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have done for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, and every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live to mastermind and take your real estate business to the next level. And that could be from nothing to something, from something to extraordinary, whatever it is. We're talking about going through transitions, about masterminding to grow your real estate business. Because if there's one thing, I know it frustrates me, and I'm sure it frustrates you as well, is it feels like you're stuck. It feels like you're running in place. It feels like you're not getting anywhere. And that might be how you feel in your first 90 days. And that 90 days is going to go by like that. It's going to go by almost instantly. Those days are going to come and go very quickly because there's so much going on. There's so much that's new. You have to take control of the situation. You have to be the one that's in charge, just like you are in every other part. That's what you do as a real estate professional. You take charge. You take charge of
the contract, you take charge of the closing, you take charge of everything. You're the executive that's overseeing all these parts. Yes, there's a closing company, there's a closing agent, there's a mortgage loan originator, there's a mortgage lender, there's all these people that do their own particular skills, and what you do is make sure you keep everything together. You're the one that knows a little bit about everything to make sure that everything pulls together nicely and the deal stays intact, and you're there to kind of be that whole liaison, making sure everything goes through. Now, breaking down this process of what we're doing in our first 90 days. So, number one, we need to understand how long it's going to take for a closing. To go from a contract to a closing, and we're looking at about maybe 60 days. Could be 90 days. Could be 6 months. If you're dealing with new construction, they're not going to close until the property is completed, until the construction is completed. So with new construction, don't count on that for immediate instant gratification. They're great homes to sell. They're easy homes to sell, but you're not getting paid right away, which is fine, which is good, but would you need to be paid today? You have to tack on top of that additional business. This cold weather's got me congested. So 60 days we're planning on average for a contract to closing. Contract to closing, 60 days. Now, that leaves us 30 days to find the clients. And if we're shooting for 3 closings, we're saying, okay, probably half of those contracts aren't going to go through, so we need 6 contracts. And then on top of that, probably half of our clients aren't going to be in a contract. It might even be more than that. It's probably going to be more than that. We need to have at least 12 serious clients. Serious clients. You have probably more clients than that. You might have 20, 25 clients, but you need at least 12 serious clients. And you count on half of them to get a contract. You count on half of those contracts to end up closing. That leaves you at your 3 closings. With your whatever price that may be, whatever commission is that you're getting. If we're talking about 3 $300,000 homes at a 3% commission rate, it's about $9,000 each. So $27,000 you'd be looking at there before any broker splits or anything like that. Which, that's a pretty good payday. That's a phenomenal first start in real estate. You get 1 closing and you're off to a great start. Because if you're getting 1 closing, you probably weren't just relying on 1 client. Remember, 1 and you're done. You rely on 1 client, it's probably not going to go through. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get emotional. You're going to get stressed out. You don't want that. That's not what a professional is. A professional is somebody that's cool, calm, and collected. And how do you be cool, calm, and collected when your money that you're making is up in the air and it's really in the hands of these buyers and sellers and whether or not they actually close on their contracts? You have a full pipeline. You have not just one that you're relying on. So let's talk about finding these clients. Finding 12 serious clients. Where do we find 12 serious clients in 30 days? What are some of the ways we could lead generate to find leads and qualify these leads into some type of client? Because as you're getting these leads, you want to find out as much as you can about them. You want to qualify them. And when real estate agents, when realtors hear the word qualify, they're immediately thinking, oh, mortgage companies. That's not your qualification. That's the mortgage company's qualification. Yes, that's important, but that's not the only qualification it is that you need to do. You need to qualify them. Not just whether or not they can afford the home, not just whether or not they have a good enough credit score to get the financing, but are they serious about this? What type of home do they need? Where does that home need to be? Notice these words that I'm using, need. Not what they want, what they need. The wants are things that we'll try to get on top of that, but the needs are the non-negotiables that we have to have. And you need to qualify them to find out this information and also to find out how serious and how urgent and how soon they want to be in that new home. And then you maybe educate them about this process a little bit. The mortgage companies do this. Mortgage companies they really don't waste their time as much as we do if we're dealing with somebody who's unqualified. They run their quick little pre-approval. Oh, nope, no deal, no dice. They're not going to try to get the loan approved if you don't meet the pre-approval. So yeah, really, they are not wasting their time. So they won't even start working any loan or working any deal unless you get that pre-approval from the mortgage company. So the mortgage company knows that they're not going to waste their time on people who aren't qualified. But so many real estate professionals do. And it's not really a matter of, yes, I'm going to work with you, or no, I'm not going to work with you. It's a matter of prioritization. Prioritizing your low-hanging fruit, the clients that are most likely, that are most serious, and most likely to purchase a home. Those are priority number one. Priority number one are the people that are most serious. Now, the people that are less serious, you fill them in accordingly. But what we're looking for, again, if we want our first 90 days, 3 closings, we want 12 serious, qualified buyers or sellers. If you're working on sellers, it's a little bit different working with it because now, even once you have the contract with the seller, it's a matter of, okay, I mean, if you price it right, you're probably going to get that closing done, but it's probably going to take a little bit longer in the long run with this than 90 days. That's why I usually say, hey, go out there, find the buyers. There's so many buyers that are out there. It's less competitive market for buyers because overall it will take you more time to close buyers than it does sellers. On average, it takes about 8 hours of working time. According to the National Association of Realtors, about 8 hours of working time to close a seller versus 24 hours of working time to close a buyer. But because it's less advantageous, because there's more work involved, realtors there's a lot of lazy realtors out there. There's a lot of lazy real estate professionals that don't want to spend all that extra time when they can make the same amount of money in 8 hours. And look, if you've got an established business, I don't blame you. That's the low-hanging fruit there, but it's 8 hours spread over a longer period of time. It's very possible to close 3 buyers in 90 days. To go from being a client to closing them in 90 days, that's absolutely possible. With a seller, it's still possible to get it all done within 90 days, but you might have 90 days before it even gets under contract, and then on top of that, another 60 to 90 days for the closing. Or maybe that closing falls through, and now you've got another one. You're back at it again. So overall, yes, it is less work overall on your part, but it's usually spread out over a longer period of time. Which is great to pick up listings, but don't count on those as the deals it is that you want to close in your first 90 days, because you lose control. You lose control. You don't have as much control over really just getting more sellers and more listings, but it's not as much where you're out there, you're not the ones bringing the buyers in. You might bring a couple of buyers in, but a majority of the buyers are going to be brought in by other agents, and you can't really control them as much. Which that goes to say for the same thing when you're working with the buyers versus the other agent, but the other agent usually isn't much involved except for negotiating a contract. So you do have a little bit more control. You're putting in more work, you're putting in more time, you're putting more effort in when you're working with a buyer. And that's what I recommend you go towards when you're first starting out. Don't turn down a listing, but don't count that for your 3 closings because those are a little bit less reliable as to whether or not they'll close. There's a lot of properties, especially when they're overpriced, and you know something that's really difficult when you're a new agent trying to convince a seller that their home, that they want to sell it for more than it's worth, and that the price that they want to sell it for is overpriced. You usually just don't have the confidence yet as a new agent to truly combat that and get them at the appropriate price it needs to be. So the buyers, like I said, they're low-hanging fruit. It's the contracts protect the buyers a lot more, so you're a lot less likely to make some sort of detrimental mistake or anything like that. There's a lot of loopholes for the buyers. There's more buyers available. It's not a competitive market, and you have more control of the situation because you're spending more time in the actual situation. So try to find these as buyers. So now, how do you find the buyers? Where is it you go to find buyers? Remember, we're saying, okay, if we need 2 to 3 weeks to get them into a contract, if we're planning for 2 to 3 weeks to get them under contract, that leaves us with 1 week out of our 90 days. We've got 60 days contract to closing. 3 weeks that we're showing them homes and trying to get something under contract, negotiating the contract. We're figuring maybe about 2 to 3 weeks for that. We'll figure 3 weeks just so we're conservative with this. That leaves us 1 week to find 12 serious clients. Really, we're finding about 2 a day. If you're working 6 days a week, you really should be working 7 days a week when you're first getting started off. Worry about taking, that's when they like to say about dieting. A lot of people starting diets in 2018. The cheat meal is the big thing, the cheat day, the cheat weekend, or whatever the cheat thing it may be. Look, if you're just coming off of eating yourself silly in December and you started a diet on Tuesday and now on Saturday and Sunday you're just gorging yourself with food again, you haven't earned that cheat day yet. You haven't earned that day off from your diet or from your real estate business. So earn your days off. Those first couple weeks especially, you're in do or die time because that first week is so crucial. You need to be out there finding clients, finding 12 serious clients, finding 2 clients a day that are serious. So really we should shoot for, if only half of our clients are going to be serious, we need to double that up again. When in doubt, double it up. Okay, now not just 12 clients, we need 24 clients because that'll help us get the serious clients. And if across 6 days, that's 4 clients we need to pick up a day. So you need to do something that's going to find you 4 clients a day to put you in good shape, to make it almost guaranteed that you're going to get those 3 closings at the end of 90 days. If you're finding 4 clients a day, half of those clients are good, serious clients, not just good clients, but serious clients, ready to do business now clients, because the other clients are probably good as well, but 6 months later, 6 months down the road good, 9 months down the road good, a year down the road good, which is still a good client that you'll want to have when that time comes. But again, we're focusing on the first 90 days, getting the money coming in, so that way we can still be in business 6 months, 9 months, a year down the road. So finding 4 clients a day, that sounds like an impossible feat, but we're going to talk about what it is that you can be doing to actually find 4 clients a day after this quick commercial break. So stick with us. I'm John Christmas. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christmas with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have been for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. And what we're doing today is dissecting your first 90 days to make it rock star first 90 days, best agent in the world first 90 days. If you close one deal in your first 90 days, most agents are going to look at you and say, wow, how did you do that in your first 90 days? But look, we're not setting for just one deal. We're saying, hey, we want to close 3 deals in our first 90 days. We want to really be serious about this. We're full immersion ourselves, diving in to the Kool-Aid, not just drinking the Kool-Aid, diving in, full immersion, no days off, no sleep. No, well, you can still sleep, you can still take a day off, but you get the idea here. We're going 110% in your first 90 days because this is a crucial period. It's a crucial period that really shapes your outlook of real estate. If you're not doing the right things, if you're not taking the appropriate amount of actions, if you're not getting the right information, your first 90 days are going to be miserable. And when your first 90 days are miserable, your real estate career is going to take a long time to not be miserable because you start to develop a negative outlook on things. Look, the new year, look how excited people get about a new year. People get excited about new things. You're going to be most excited about real estate when it's brand new, when you're first getting your real estate license. Capitalize on that excitement. Capitalize on that power it is that you've channeled in obtaining your real estate license and really take it and hit the ground running. So
going through our formula for 3 closings in the first 90 days. And look, this isn't a guaranteed formula, but this is really as close to guaranteed as you could get, really, for your first 90 days to really making it as successful as possible. So if we want 3 closings in our first 90 days, that means we need to find, remember, 6 contracts. And for those 6 contracts, we're going to need 12 serious, ready-to-go clients, which again, if we cut that in half again, 24, 25 total clients. And we have 1 week. Our first week is going to dictate what we're going to be closing 90 days from now. Because that's where we find the clients. The next 2 to 3 weeks, we're trying to get the clients under contract. And then the next 2 months, we're waiting for those deals to close. They could close sooner than that, and hopefully they will. Because by the end of 90 days, if you're waiting for all of your contracts to close at the end of March, you're waiting for a while to get paid. So hopefully you get some closing sooner than that. Maybe they don't take a full 60 days or anything like that to go from contract to closing. Hopefully before the end of January, you got a closing coming through. If you've got a cash buyer, that's still possible right now. We're sitting here on January 5th. So you can go out, find a serious buyer, and start working. If they are serious and they are ready to buy now, get them closed in that amount of time. Yes, you're going to be putting in a lot of work. We already established that. It takes on an average 24 hours of working time to close a buyer. So yes, you're going to be putting in a lot of work, but you're going to be reaping such immense rewards when you get 3 closings in your first 30 days. A lot of agents, a lot of brokers even, are going to tell you that's unheard of and that that's impossible. But it is possible, and if those are the agents and that's the broker that seem interesting to you, maybe you need to find some new agents to hang around. Maybe you need to find a new broker, somebody who will tell you, yeah, you could do it, but you've got to put the work in. That's what you want to hear when somebody tells you, when you tell somebody that you're planning on getting 3 closings in 90 days. Now, if they know you and they know that you're not somebody who puts in the action, that does what they need to do, they'll probably tell you, yeah, you can do that, but I don't think you've got it in you. That's okay, but if they just say that's impossible, no one can do that, not in your first 90 days, it is possible. Again, the right information, the right action, and it is possible. So how do we find now? Because that's the last loose end we've really got to tie in with this. How do we find 4 clients a day in our first week? If we find 4 clients a day in our first week for the first 6 days, that's going to get us the 24 clients it is that we need, and hopefully we've got 12 serious clients. And if we don't have 12 serious clients, and how do we know that they're serious? We qualify them, we ask them questions, we ask, okay, when do you need to be in the house by? Not when do you want to be in the house by. Eliminate that word want from your vocabulary, especially when you're qualifying people. You need the word need. When do you need to be in a new house? Not when do you want to be in a new house? And you could, if you want a more realistic answer, you could ask, well, when do you want to be in a new house? Okay, now when do you need to be in a new house? And they might say, well, didn't you just ask me that? No, I asked you when you wanted to be in a new house. Now I'm asking you when you need to be in a new house. Because that need question is going to get you a lot straight to, okay, this is what we need to find. Because if we're waiting for wants, and desires, we're going to be on an infinite, never-ending, everlasting home search. So you need to establish, okay, these are the needs. Let's go find the needs. This house has what you need. It's within the price range that you need. What do you say? Is this the one? And if it's not, then you just keep working through it. You find, okay, well, what is it that this house still needs? And if they say, well, I'd really like it to have a pool, well, based on the inventory in this area that you said you needed to be in this area, that you needed to have this many bedrooms, that's not possible in this price point. Do you want to wait, or do you still need to get in a house before March? No, I still need to get a house before March. Okay, well, this is what we've got to work with right now. If we're waiting any longer, we're not going to be looking till April, May, June, July, something like that, where it's further out. And not only do you need to educate yourself in this process of what it takes to close a deal, you need to educate your clients in the same process of what it takes to get the deal closed. So let's talk about the different ways now we can find these clients. What can we be doing that's going to generate us 4 leads a day, 4 leads that turn into clients? And now, if not every single one of your leads turns into clients, which that's not always the case, you need to make sure that you're getting 4 clients out of this here. Now, what's the way, the easy way out, the low information way, the not knowing what you're doing way to get these 4 clients a day? And what happens is when you get when you're newly licensed, you'll start getting telemarketer calls from companies like Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, even though Zillow and Trulia are really the same company now, so they probably just do one call to you. Different AdWorks is one that will call you. All these different telemarketers that are trying to sell you advertising. Look, advertising is fantastic. Advertising is great. I am very passionate about marketing, but marketing is not going to get you 4 clients today. So you want to ask yourself this question to really find out of whether or not this telemarketer is going to line up with your business plan, of your plan to get 4 clients today. You ask them, how many clients am I going to get today off of this? Oh, well, you're only going to get about 2 clients a month. Okay, well, that doesn't work for me. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day. End of story. You're not going to find any of these telemarketers calling you unless you're willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars a month to get something where you're getting 4 clients a day. It's just simply not possible. It is possible, just you'd have to pay $10,000, $20,000 for advertising across a month, which that's maybe something you could do once you've got 30 grand rolling in a month. You could spend maybe 15, 20 grand on advertising and still make a pretty good profit every month. And that takes you out of the equation for finding these clients. But now, how do you find these clients? How do you now, because we can't market for these. Marketing is good for the long term. That's good for building a more automatable, a more scalable solution. But now, what can we do? It's going to take more work to find the clients today, to find 4 clients today. And there's 2 ways that are tried and true that a lot of people don't like. And that's why most people, when they get their real estate license, they're not going to close 3 deals in their first 90 days. And that's prospecting. Prospecting, not marketing. Marketing is for getting deals after 90 days, for finding clients in 90 days, or finding people that aren't too serious, or not getting enough action. Because these telemarketers will say, well, what could you do if you got 2 clients this month? Oh, well, you could get 2 closings, and if you got 2 closings, but look, you got to educate them. Look, that's simply not how it works. If I get 2 clients, I'll be lucky if one of them even closes. I'm going to need 10 clients to even then still, maybe we've got 1 closing. You tell them that, and they're like, oh, well, we could sell you 10 leads, but that's going to cost you 10 grand. And you tell them, oh, well, I need 10 leads a day. Oh, all right, well, we could do that. It's just going to cost you $85,000. Not going to cost that much, but you guys get the point it is that I'm making. So prospecting, however, this allows you to find the clients that are serious. Yes, you are going to be using your time, and your time is going to get more valuable over time. As you become more experienced and you're making more money, your time's going to become more valuable. But when you're first getting started, the one asset that you have a bulk amount of is your time. So prospecting, you could do door knocking, you could do cold calling, you could all these different things where you could be going out there and finding people, finding 4 or 5 clients a day. And how do you know when to stop? Once you found 4 or 5 clients that day, you knock on doors. Whether you're knocking on doors in apartment complexes, you're knocking on doors in communities where there's a high percentage of renters, or you're knocking on doors in some sort of neighborhood neighborhood where there's a lot of turnover going on. You're knocking on these doors, and you could probably pick up 5 clients in the matter of a couple hours. So if you could accommodate, budget in about 3 hours, 4 hours maybe of time, you could definitely pick up 4 clients knocking on doors. Or maybe you're doing 3 or 4 hours of calling on the phone. You'll get a lot of voicemails. You'll get a lot of times where they don't answer. You might have to invest in one of those power dialers where it dials for you and dials different 2 or 3 different lines at a time. But that's another way that you could go out and find 4 clients a day. Through marketing, even if you built out a website and you put all kinds of money towards advertising, when you're first setting up, that's still probably not even going to produce those 4 clients a day. It could, eventually, probably could produce even more than that, but it's going to take time. So again, for your first 90 days, prospecting is key. Prospecting is key. That's going to help you get the closings, and it's going to be... When you feel uncomfortable, that's you going through a transition period. That's when you're transitioning to a higher level, is when you feel uncomfortable. Comfortable is boring. When you start feeling comfortable all the time, comfortable with your business, comfortable with everything, you're like, oh, business is good, I'm comfortable. you're really just saying, yeah, I'm bored with it. It's going good, but nothing exciting, nothing new, not transitioning to those higher levels. There's always a higher level it is that you could get to, and that's what we're about taking you to every Friday, 12 noon Eastern time for State of Real Estate. That's about all the time it is that we have for today's episode. If you want to rewatch the full hour of this episode, go to tampaschool.com/success. Again, that's tampaschool.com/success, SUCCESS. That's our Success Center. That's where we help you plan for your success in the real estate industry. You'll find the full episode of today for your first 90 days in real estate, as well as every other State of Real Estate episode it is that we've done every Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. We've been doing this for over a year now. So check that out. It's at tampaschool.com/success. If you're interested in starting or enhancing your real estate career, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Or better yet, check out our website, tampaschool.com. That's tampaschool.com. You can find all the pre-licensing, post-licensing courses, continuing education courses you could ever need on that website, as well as our Success Center. Again, a lot of tools to help you take your real estate business to the next level. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next Wednesday for Ask the Instructor.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have been for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.